Join ForumIAS Academy, trusted by hundreds of toppers, including IAS Rank 1 Shruti Sharma.
Hello and welcome to ForumIAS. Today is 17th September 2020, coming to you with most important articles from today's The Hindu. These are the 5 articles I am going to discuss with you. First article is about Cauvery water dispute. September 21, Supreme Court asked Karnataka to continue releasing 5,000 per second of water from the Cauvery River, Tamil Nadu, for 15 years. This is the decisions of the Cauvery Water Regulation, the Cauvery Water Management Authority. Let's understand about this river. Cauvery is the largest river in the state and originates at Talakaveri, the Brahmagiri of western Karnataka. It is also called the Dakshina Ganga and considered one of the rivers of India. The origin of the river Cauvery is pilgrimage tourist spot. Sit amidst Brahmagiri hills near Mandegiri in Korg. If we talk about the tributaries of the Cauvery, it includes Harangi, Hemavati, Kabini, Shimsha, Arkavati, Bhavani, and many more. If we talk about Kabini, it originates in Kerala and flows eastward and joins the Cauvery at Tirumakudal, Narasipur. Now, why is this in? Because this decision evoked a strong reaction from certain sections of Karnataka and upper riparian state. On September 22, the police arrested of farmers in Mysuru because they tried to barge into the Mysuru Jilla Panchayat premises, Hirao urban development by Rathi. Even on next day, several shops and business remained closed in Mandya. And on September 26, coalition of farmers and Kannada organization have called for a bandh in Bengaluru, where the CWRC is scheduled to meet and review the situation of water availability and release take place. The government again took 6 years and notified the order in 2013 on the direction of the Supreme Court. That is, later on, Tamil Nadu government had approached the Supreme Court with a special leave petition under Article 130. The Tamil Nadu government had approached the court because Karnataka government was not following the award of the tribunal. Article 136 makes the Supreme Court highest appellate court. It says, notwithstanding anything in this chapter, the Supreme Court may, in its discretion, can grant special leave to appeal from any judgment, decree, termination, sentence or order passed by any court or tribunal territory. The Apex Court delivered its judgment in 2018. In its judgment, the Apex Court declared Cauvery a national asset. Largely upheld the water sharing finalized by the WD. So, as per the judgment, Karnataka would get 284.75 TM, Tamil Nadu 404.25 TMC, Kerala would get 30 TMC and Puducherry would get 7 TMC. It also directed the centre to notify the Cauvery Management Scheme. The central government notified the Cauvery Water Management in June 2018. It constituted the Cauvery Water Management Authority and the Cauvery Water Regulation Committee give effect to the decision. If we talk about background, this dispute originated for the first time way back in 1890 at the time of Britishers, and it is between the Presidency of Madras and Princely State of Mysore. In 1924, Mysore and Madras reached into an agreement which will be valid for 50 years. Hence, it ceased to be enforced in 1974. Since 1974, Karnataka started diverting water into its 4 newly made reservoirs without the consent of Tamil Nadu. This resulted in dispute post-independence. Let's understand about this water dispute. This dispute is related to a long-standing conflict over the sharing of water from the Cauvery. It involves 3 states and 1 union territory. That is Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Karnataka, and Puducherry. Why is this? Because this revolves around how the river water should be distributed among these states for various uses, including irrigation, drinking water, and industrial purposes. Now, 120 TM it is given during the period from June to September at Gundulu located on interstate border. See, monthly schedule for the place for Karnataka, the upper riparian state Cauvery releases the water to Tamil Nadu. As per the schedule, Karnataka is to make available to Tamil Nadu at Bilingundulu a total quantity of 177.5 TM in a normal water year, that is from June to May. Of this quantity, 123.14 TM is to be during the period from June to September. It is also the marking the season of the southwest monsoon. It is during this period that the Cauvery issue gets flared up. Monsoon yield lower rainfall than anticipated. This year's southwest monsoon has played truant especially in south interior Karnataka, the region where the Cauvery River originates. Between June 1 and September 23, suffered deficit rainfall of 27% according to the Indian Meteorological Department. Since which form part of the catchment of the Cauvery and its tributaries. Kabini registered a deficit rainfall of 40% and 56% respectively. That is why Tamil Nadu approached the SC because on August 11, the CWMA wanted to manage its releases such a way that 10,000 cubic of water was released at Bilingundlu for the next 15 days starting from August 12. In other words, we can say Karnataka would have to provide 0.86 TMC a day or 12.9 totally in the 50. But apparently, Tamil Nadu was the refusal of Karnataka during the meeting to abide by the quantity that was agreed upon meeting of CWRC. Karnataka has contended that lower rainfall in the Cauvery catchment, including in Kerala, has led to the poor inflow on reservoirs. Then, last week, Karnataka told the Supreme Court that the daily flow of 5,000 cubic of water Tamil Nadu was against its interest. The state, especially in urban areas like Bengaluru, was on the brink of a drinking water crisis, whereas Tamil Nadu was in need of water for irrigation. It is also added that the distress in Karnataka had increased in the past 50 years. Let's understand the state perspective. Tamil Nadu factors in the deficit in inflows to 4 Karnataka reservoirs and the rainfall pattern in 3 Cauvery catchment zones. Karnataka argues that water sharing should consider both and also from June 1 to August 20. The 4 Karnataka reservoirs faced a 51.2% shortfall in inflow. This is the time that CWMA along with the constituent finalized a distressed sharing formula because there have been differences over the choice of parameters that determine such a formula. And also, making use of the present crisis, the authority should take the initiative convincing all the stakeholders in involving the proposed formula. That's all for this topic. Let's move forward to the next topic. This article is about G20 diplomacy, a shifting world order. See, India scripted amazing success at the G20 meeting in Delhi on September 9 and 10. Despite the odds, succeeded in producing a consensus. Let's discuss the agenda during G20 summit financial focus. The initial G20 agenda this is focused on sustainability of sovereign debt and global financial stability inclusive format. that would bring in the largest developing economies as equal partners. Further, the recurring themes covered by G20 summit participants have related in priority to global economy, international trade, and financial market regulation. They also talk about the inclusive growth. See, after the adoption of the UN Sustainable Development Goals and the Paris Climate Agreement in more issues of global significance were added to the G20 agenda. Means it include migration, digitization, employment, healthcare, the economic empowerment of women and development. Now, here the New Delhi Declaration does indeed seem to have something for everyone, from condemnation of terrorism to climate, from tumbling of renewable energy capacity matters such as lifestyle for sustainable development and reform of multilateral development banks apart from highlighting India's contribution to digital public infrastructure and unified payment. Let's discuss about terrorism. International action on terrorism is the need of the hour, as the roots of terrorism may be in some other country. The conspiracy could be hatched in some third country, and the actual target may be another country like India. It therefore requires global action, particularly regarding the money that flows into terrorist networks from different parts of the G20 grouping can be leveraged for countries with similar issues to tackle the threats from terrorism. Now let's talk about taxation. Global taxation, another issue for G20 to deal with. G20 has already taken cognizance of this fact and has come up with base erosion and profit sharing framework. Going further, this framework needs to be strengthened to deal with challenges from spread of global supply chain and expanding e-commerce. Let's talk about new digital technology. Innovations in digital technologies are rapid and spreading faster across the world. Although the main benefits of digital technologies for economic growth and social development are well known, there are certain issues such as privacy, data security, and digital governance which are to be properly understood. He is working with these countries to tackle the vulnerability ethical issues arising out of such technology. Also, G20 addresses environmental issues and sustainable development. The group discusses about the impact resource allocation, energy policies, and international climate. Let's discuss this one earth, one family, one future. What is the meaning of it? India, as chair of the G20, has offered a vision of Vasudev Kutumbakam, means one earth, one family, one future, to bring all citizens of the world together and make the world better for everyone. He has also proposed an approach of lifestyles for sustainable development to the G20. It requires coherent actions, stakeholders at all levels, rooted in collective actions for society. It also recognizes and amplifies the role of local communities, local and regional governments, and traditional knowledge in supporting sustainable lifestyles. New Delhi Declaration thus sharply differs from the Bali Declaration by 2020. Why is this? Why the article says that? Because the difference between two declarations is that while Bali was accusatory in tone, Delhi sought a resolution to the conflict. China might have welcomed the Delhi Declaration, but there is inherent foreboding in its affirmation that the G20 was intended to be a forum for economic cooperation and not a platform for resolving geopolitical and security issues. If we talk about geopolitical issues, let's understand. The world economy is struggling with geopolitical rifts, such as the tensions between the US and China, the two biggest economies in the world. The decline in trade between the UK and the Euro area in the wake of the Brexit decision and sanctions on Russia. Also, Russia-Ukraine crisis. We know this. It is currently the biggest roadblock impairing functioning of US and are not willing to the same table with Russia and its allies. This may cause a severe stalemate in the grouping's functioning and its progress. Also, the smaller countries have to implement the declaration and commitment agreed by G20 nations for their growth. For example, the G20 nations agreed to end international financing for coal power plants. So, a small nation cannot get any finance from G20 nations for a new coal power plant, must use its own limited finance sources or phase out coal and look for other alternatives. Under representations of Africa, none of the African nations is a member of the G20 except for South Africa. So, China has sent an implicit warning that it should not become a geopolitical tool. Hence, it is evident that China's perception is that the G20 was being used by the West solely to try and impose worldview. See, Delhi G20 a thumbs up with some observing that hardly any of the geostrategic economic issues had been sorted out. If we talk about geo-economic issues, we can see the rising of protectionism. G20 is facing a credibility crisis due to de-globalization and rising protectionism. Countries around the world are choosing to be G0 over the G7, G6, G5 and others. Also, slowing down of major economies of G20 means China, one of the major engines for the global growth, and it is witnessing a sharp slowdown as it struggles with real estate crisis. US and UK are also facing recession. Rising of inflation means high inflation. Central banks across countries have raised interest rates, which in turn have dampened economic activity further. Now we can say that India remains an obvious target for China and is in its crosshair. A new NATO is set to become even more dependent on the US for military supplies and capabilities to be able to act as bulwark against Russian expansion. And it has in turn raised the prospect of US equipped territorial force in. The recent meeting in Moscow between Russian President Putin and North Korean leader Kim Jong has further deepened their relationship. China is exploiting its frontage in the Pacific Ocean, openly challenge US naval power here. Russia and Turkey have deepened their relationship based on shared interest and the personal friendship between Mr. Putin and Turkish leader. Russia is once again seeking to expand its footprint in Africa, and Russia's recent agreement to supply food grains to African states at subsidized prices or even for free, and it is aimed towards this end. Global South, among its priorities, countries such as India, despite all the hard work they put in, it will still remain notional pieces on the checkerboard of international, with hardly any decisive voice in defining the course of world events. Let's understand this point. Global South includes countries in Asia, Africa, and South America. Most of the Global South countries share a history of colonization. The region has mostly remained underrepresented in international forums, such as their exclusion from the permanent membership of the UNSC. This exclusion is seen as something that contributes toward the slower growth of Global South. Let's discuss this. If we talk about the issue of Green Energy Fund, despite Global North countries' higher contribution toward global emissions, they are neglecting way for funding green energy, for which the ultimate sufferers are the least emitters, means the lesser developed countries. See the impact of Russia-Ukraine. The Russia-Ukraine war severely affected the least developed countries, aggravating the concerns related to food, energy, finance, thereby threatening the development prospects of LDCs, means least developed countries. Also, I have discussed this earlier about China's interference. China is increasingly making inroads in the global south through the Belt and Road Initiative for developing infrastructure. However, it is still questionable that whether BRI will be a win-win situation for both parties or it will focus only on China's profit. It's about US. The world is now considered to be multipolar by many, but still it is the US alone who dominates international. That's all for this topic. Let's move forward another topic. This is the article Tibetans. So Tibetans are asking for more autonomy, but not political separation. Dalai Lama said this. Also, he visit Lhasa and preferred to live so. He rejected accusing the Dalai Lama, who has lived in exile since 9 of being or separate. What is separatist or splittist? Let's first understand. Someone who is a member of a particular race, religion, or other group and who believes that this group should be have their government or in some way live apart from other people. If we go back in history, he and the Dalai Lama have had long dating back to 1959 when the Dalai Lama fled Tibet and sought refuge. India has since been home to the Dalai Lama, Tibetan government while providing them political asylum and has supported the Tibetan cause for autonomy in China. But over the years, India has taken a diplomatic stance on the Tibetan issue. India has also reinforced China's position, the reincarnation of Dalai Lama, insisting that he is a religious that should be Tibetan people themselves. In July, the Dalai Lama had surprised many by announcing that he had been contacted officially or unofficially by the Chinese government in order to deal with Tibetan problems. If they want to contact, I am also ready. This says by Dalai Lama. Dalai Lama belongs to Buddhism, Telugapa tradition, which is the largest and the most real in. There have only 14 Dalai Lama in Tibetan Buddhist history, with the first and second Dalai Lama title posthumously. Tenzin Gyatso is the 14th and current Dalai Lama. That's all for this topic. Let's move forward to the another topic. This article talks about the Northeast rising the Assam, Manipur, Meghalaya, Mizoram, Nagaland, and Tripura. It is home to numerous ethnic communities who have migrated all points of the compass, the majority of them belonging to side that this region was governed by British earlier and the Indian Northeast had a marginal and it is as diverse as in itself in terms of now to highlight the elements of different groups and their experiences. See, the realities of the necessary like policy, economy, migration, land rights, insurgents, civilization, violence, laws like APSPA, reservation, and so on. Because people from the northeast as migrant, marginality, and sometimes violence. The Base Bura Committee was set up in 2014 to look into the various concerns of citizens hailing from the northeast. Living in various parts of the country had recommended how to people from the northeast via social media and a special helpline that is 1093 was synchronized with the helpline number 100. If we take a closer look at the region itself, several states, Nagaland and Assam, have seen of violence over ethnic and identity and so on. In the 1990s, ethnic communities, the Kukis and Lagas, led to massive displacement and rothing. See, Kuki is one of the three major ethnic groups in Manipur, and the other two being the Met, the Nagas. Now, also, the shift in the nature of occupation for and the country because the conflict even happened among the Nagas too. Agriculture being the basic means of livelihood and is a highly valued in the conflict led to the alienation and from both the parties and especially from the dispute. The women faced persisting health issues like malnutrition, post-traumatic stress, or other injuries, and also risk of contracting communicable disease. Also, widespread poverty, unjust conditions, lack of awareness, the absence of adequate healthcare services. These are issues women are facing in the present conflict in Manipur as well. And also, popular narratives glorify the state of women in Manipur, patriarchal structure in Khasi society. But actually, the system only materially the power risk maternal members. So that's all for this talk. So must talk about sustainability. The fair held bilateral talks on and discuss the sustainability reform of. So this is 70 Assembly UNG. In this discussion, how in has strengthening when for C. Strong commitment, financial, the reform of and in the government has sought to put as the advocate of the global organization of sincerely UNG. Also, the also met with President Dennis Francis said yes G as well as form of multilateral global south stay on could a time. Now, first understand what are issues global south. The term global south often used to highlight the historical of colonialism and the economic disparities formerly colonized developed West. South countries like India and China have most of the South countries share a history of colonization. The region has most represented such as their from the permanent. This exclusion is as some that contributes towards the slower growth of global South. Some are the issues. The development of global so of green and the Russia Ukraine war and it what's the word preference of China and also the yes, adequate access and also the impact of coal. So that's all about this topic. Let's move forward to the divide quiz. So one of the are all the four countries. First of Argentina, South Africa. Second is third is Brazil. Last one, Japan. Correct answer is first, South Africa and Turkey. Because the G20 is an informal group of nine, the European, with representatives of the Indian, the World Bank. The G20 members in Brazil, China, France, Germany, India, Indonesia, Japan, of course, Saudi Arabia, South Africa, Turkey, the United Kingdom, States. Therefore, option question. Krishna Raja Dam located in built on which of the following rivers? So, first option is Cauvery, second is Godavari, Krishna, Mahanadi. Answer is Cauvery. Rajasagara, also popularly known as RS. It is a lake and the dam that creates it. They are close to the settlement of Krishna Rajas, Indian state of Karnataka. So, that's all for today's discussion. Follow us on all the social media platforms. Thank you and all the best.